So you are.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's too hot outside, or?
No, I just like to go barefoot. That's what I do at home, and it makes me feel more comfortable.
Okay. Usually in Latvia we do in summertime that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you have summertime here. Great.
So the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you for having me today at this wonderful iLive conference. I think all those guys out here are doing a great job. So please give them a hand, because they have gone through many things to make this happen. Thank you for having me on this wonderful stage. I really think this is a nice environment, great vibes. It's more like a rock stage or something. I'm not sure what's going on normally here. I really like the screen. This is really amazing, high quality. This is real fun. And thank you for having me over to Latvia. I really enjoyed yesterday. I flew in the morning, so I had some time to walk to your lovely city and see all the Jugendstil buildings, which we don't have in the Netherlands, where I'm from. We have some, but not as many as you're having them. So that was real fun. And even, it was the 11th of November yesterday. And of course, this is a bad picture, it's a selfie shot. This was at the Presidential Castle yesterday. I was amazed by the number of lights. It really shut me down. I just stood there for a couple of minutes and get the vibe. It was really awesome. So thank you for having me over. I think the conference every year should be around this time, so all other speakers could enjoy the celebration. So I'm running this company, Testing.agency. We are just your A/B testing support team. We run experiments. That's what we do. And the fun thing about being asked to tell your story and to share your story is that I get to meet lots of people, like you today. And people that run experiments, conversion-minded people, digital marketing people, are always great fun. It's always fun to hang out with them. And like yesterday, we did a cooking workshop. That was really fun. And when you have experimentation guys running a cooking workshop, stuff like this is happening. That was really awesome. Thank you for that. I think conversion people are open-minded, outgoing. It's all high energy and lots of fun. We are evidence-based people. There we go. And we love to solve the puzzle. And we do that with high energy. It's what we call lean. It's small steps to improve and solving the puzzle. That's what we do. So this business is about high energy. But for you, well, it has been a long day. You've heard many speakers. Your brain is like exhausted now. You ate some chocolate too, so that's really exhausting the brain. So my question is, okay, if we're in a high energy business, what about your energy? Maybe it's, if you're lucky, it's here, but maybe it's over here already. So that's not a good thing, because I think you spent some money and lots of time to be here today. So you want something in return, and some insights. And to get good insights, and again, another speaker is going to speak for like 35 minutes, lots of information. I want to make sure the main message will fit and stick in your brain. So I'm going to reboost your energy. But I do it a little different. So please, could you stand up? And they're like, there we go again. Thank you for ruining this. No, but it's great, you stood up. Could you now, like, please raise your hands like the people in the picture here? Yeah, there we go. And guys, the music is on the laptop. It's not on the screen. Can some of the tech guys help me out here? Could you lower your hands again? Rewind. Oh, go sit down, please. Do we have audio? Okay, let's try this one more time. Please stand up. Could we cut this from the live audio? Raise your hands, and hopefully music will start playing. Yes. And what we do to re-energize, especially on a theater like this, normally music is being played. So please lift it up. This is a rock stage. This is music. This is techno music. And start waving your hands. And could you put it louder, louder, louder? There we go. There we go. This is high energy fun. We are in a fun business. We love to be here. And of course, now you have to really start dancing. There we go. Very good. Come on. You need more energy. With jumping, you will feel the energy flowing through your body. Yeah, awesome job, guys. That's some real high energy conversion fun. And now, same as me, you're a bit exhausted. So like, oh, that also was costing a lot of energy. So please take some time to relax, calm down, and please return some focus. Because there's now energy in your brain, but you have to cool down a little, like me. This is what the internet was made for, pictures of funny cats. Maybe you recognize the song. Anyone of you know the song that was played? Katy Perry. It's called Roar. Yeah, why Roar? What's up with that? Is it because of Katy Perry? Well, no, sorry. It's the name of the song. It's Roar. And today I will tell you about the Roar model. It's a model for experimenting. So bear with me, because I go back in time a little now. 20 years ago, I created my first website. It was, this is the Mosaic browser. I created mine in a Netscape browser, so a little later. But it's 20 years ago. And back then, I was still at university. And at university, I was teased about this guy. This guy is William Edward Deming. That's a real fun guy. He invented the quality circle. He said, okay, don't do this big redesign, restructuring factories back then in like the 60s. He helped building up a lot of plants in Japan. He was sent out from the American government to help rebuild Japan. And he started doing plan, do, check, and act. He started measuring stuff. And this is the precursor of the Toyota production system, which finally resulted in what we call nowadays lean. Build, measure, learn. Small steps, small circles, really fast. Build something, measure it, learn from it, improve it, build it, measure, learn, and so on and so on. So what I did with my website 20 years ago, I just looked at data. And web analytics data back then looked like this. That was real fun. This is an Access log file. And I could use it to see all the little details. I had a web page like this, old-fashioned index page, and all affiliate links on there. And I started looking at the data, and okay, not so many people are clicking on this part, so maybe because more people are clicking on this one, I have to shift them around and see if I can make more money. So that's what I started doing, shifting around, changing text links, different headers, different colors, to see if I could make more money. And I measured if it was successful by, again, looking at the data. But was I doing a good thing? No, sorry. That was not a good thing. And why? It took me some years to realize why. I took a Google Analytics dump of a very big website in the Netherlands. This is the conversion rate, week by week. I'm going here. It looks pretty stable. This is a whole year. And even if you zoom in, it looks even more stable. Like, oh, conversion rate on average was pretty stable. But then I took that data, and I started plotting it in a very ugly Excel chart. And then it looked like this. So the week-by-week change on this really big website, which seems to be a stable conversion rate, well, it has, like this week, the conversion rate is almost 25% higher than this week. And over here, it's almost 20% lower than this week, without changing something on the website. They do occasionally do some changes, but this is their stable e-commerce rate. Well, that's pretty strange, because the changes I made on my own website are all in this area. Switching around box, switching text links, that only makes an impact of like max 5%, up or down. So if I implemented my change here and looked at the data for next week, I would see a big uplift and be very happy. But why is this uplift here? Is it because of my change? Or did my competitors do something? Or was I getting less traffic from quality sources? Not sure what's happening there. Going down, going up, going down. So the changes I made were in this range. So if I just did implementing, build, measure, learn, Well, 26 out of 44 weeks of this data, well, I was wrong. So I made many, many, many wrong decisions in optimizing my own little website. And then, I think it was 14 years ago, I was taught about this little guy. This is a groundhog. I'm not sure what the Latvian name is of a groundhog. Anyone knows this? The funny thing is, this is part of a very, very famous movie. There you go, Groundhog Day. Who has seen the movie Groundhog Day? Many of you, great. Who has not seen it? Still some of you. Go watch this movie. This is like rated 8.2 on the Internet Movie Database, really fun. It's a bit old, it's like 20 years old now. But what's happening, this is Bill Murray, he's the weather guy for Channel 9 News. And in the States, they have Groundhog Day in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts. And this is this big traditional day, like you have on November 11th. And what they do, they will start looking if the groundhog comes out of his winter sleep. And if he does, winter is officially over. But if he doesn't, it will stay winter for another 4 weeks. So it's just a tradition thing going on. In that movie, he wakes up the next morning after Groundhog Day, and after some minutes he starts realizing, I'm in the same day again. Exactly the same stuff is happening. Again, it's Groundhog Day. I see the same people, same cars passing by. It's the same day, and the next morning, and the next morning. Every day he wakes up at the same day. And this is a Hollywood movie, so he's trying to get the girl, Andie MacDowell. And what he's able to do, he's able to change his talk every day. At first, he starts talking to her, and it's not working, and then he thinks, oh, I have to do another talk. And it just the movie goes on, and they end up in a restaurant having dinner, and he's able to do real testing. By every time changing one little part, and then learn what the outcome was. Well, that was really good. So he was doing continuous improvement. Continuous optimization, trying to get the girl. He was having a constant testing environment. Because nothing else was changing, he was the only one that could change something. So that's real A/B testing. So the changes I made on my website by just implementing them, well, they didn't really told me anything or learn me anything because maybe I was just wrong. So A/B testing is like on your website, traffic, split run, 50% will see this variation, 50% will see this variation. All surrounding external facts going on are the same. Same competition, same stuff going on in your own company. So if there's an outcome, you'll be sure that the change you made is the reason for the outcome. And if you look at A/B testing nowadays, this is an e-consultancy research. They run this every year. The new report just came out. They ask companies, what are the methods you use to improve conversion? A/B testing has been up there for 4 years in a row now. It was 32% 5 years ago, but up there on number 1 for 4 years in a row. And if you ask companies, what methods are you planning to use? Well, A/B testing is also up there. It's the number 1 thing to improve conversion. So A/B testing is really, really hot. Wow. I love sound effects. Now, everyone is pushing to test more. The same report from e-consultancy, they asked companies, okay, how big was your sales increase last year? No change, small, big improvement. And what are the number of tests you run on average per month? Well, it goes up. And if you look at, this is the German top 10 e-commerce websites. Thank you, André Maurice, for giving me this chart. This big line over here, the hockey stick road, that's Amazon. And all the other e-commerce stores are down there, not having a hockey stick road. Besides this one, that's Zalando. And what those companies do, they have a testing culture. They test anything, experimenting a lot. 7,000 experiments a year, Amazon. And if you ask Jeff Bezos, already in 2004 he stated, if you double the number of experiments, you're not only making more money, you're also going to double your inventiveness. So they are really into testing and optimization. So if you go back to the same report of e-consultancy, and you ask all those managers, are you satisfied with your conversion rate? And this is quite a hard chart to get, but bear with me, it's 5 years, 2010, 11, 12, well, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even difficult for me. It's 5 years in a row. But it looks the same for every year. No one is really satisfied, like very satisfied with conversion rate. Quite satisfied, lots of people, not sure. lots of people quite dissatisfied, and even very dissatisfied. This is always the same. Managers are never happy with the conversion rate. They always think it can be improved. Maybe that's the whole reason why they are there. So if all the news is about A/B testing, and this is really hard, and you have to do A/B testing, if you ask a manager, what should we do to improve conversions? Well, they will tell you, wow, start A/B testing. And start A/B testing, and all your growth problems will disappear. That's not true. A/B testing is not a solution. And this is a very important message. A/B testing is a methodology. It should be part of like this continuous optimization program running in your company or at your clients. It's a way of working. It's company DNA. If you look at Booking.com, Zalando, Facebook, all the big companies, Amazon, running memory experience, every release they put out there is a test. It's all about experimenting. So if you start experimenting and you know it's not a solution, but a way of working, well, you need to be explained when to do what and how to do it. Going back to university, where I learned about Deming. This is from my old university textbook, many years ago. I studied management science, and I was taught the growth curve, how to grow companies. And this is the time span axis, and this is losing money, winning money. And when you start a new product or service, at first you have to do some research and have to make sure you're going to produce something that people want to buy. And that will cost money, so you're losing money. And at some point, you will hit a jackpot and have something good, and you can grow. And back in the old days, it was called duplicate. Like McDonald's or Starbucks nowadays, if you have one success, you just copy it. Growing, 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 growing. At some point, well, business will slow down in growing or maybe even decline. And then you have to rethink and modify your approach, or maybe come up with some new products and new services and start all over. I used this one to create the ROAR model. It's a model about optimization phases. I used the same line, going from nothing to a lot, slowing down. Over here is conversions per month in your company or at your client, and this is the time span. And of course, if you start a new website, you will have 0 conversions, and hopefully you come up with something good, and it will grow. And I divided this one into 4 parts. And that's why it's called ROAR. The first part is risk, second part is optimization, then we go into automation, and then we have to rethink, like the original growth model. Those lines in there are like borders. And this line is the 1,000 conversions per month border. This morning, Marie already told if you are too low on traffic, you just cannot A/B test, based on statistics. The second line is 10,000 conversions per month. Well, and up here, you're just lucky. If you pass that line, you're becoming really, really, really rich. And why 1,000 conversions? This is a rule of thumb, easy to remember. It's a model, simplified version of reality. 1,000, 10,000. You can do the math yourself. This is the test calculator from A/B Test Guide. It's on this URL. It's free. You can just put in your conversion rate and all your numbers, and it will tell you how much impact you have to make or how many tests you can run. And then if you put your numbers in, you will start realizing if I only have 1,000 conversions and run my A/B test for like 3 or 4 weeks, split run, to see the change, I need a 15% impact. Well, with A/B testing and changing stuff, if you're able to create an impact by just changing some stuff on a website of 15% on click-throughs or sales or whatsoever, well, that's pretty big. That doesn't happen all the time. Many tests out there will not have this impact. If you're moving up here, then you will be able to recognize a 5% impact. Oh, then it's becoming more like a testing program. This is big impact testing. That's why those borders are here. And I think Katie approves too that this is the ROAR model. Now, I'll go through every phase. The first phase, the risk phase, less than 1,000 conversions per month. It's really easy. You have to bridge the gap. Don't create products, create solutions. You have to come up with something good. Be an entrepreneur, take some risk. This book is awesome, The Lean Startup. Build, measure, learn. Just try and fail. Try and fail. And of course, you will measure if you're failing, but you will not be able to A/B test. Get out of the office. Talk to people. And this is like the do or die spirit. It's a startup. I think the next talk is also about a startup. That's what they have to do. They have to do or die. Work really hard to maybe get success or fail, but at least you tried. But then this is about more experiments. So if you pass that point of 1,000 conversions, well, then you can run on average 20 tests per year. That's your limit. 20 tests per year. On average, with this kind of data, you will have like 1 out of 3 a winning A/B test. So if you run 20 A/B tests, you will have like on average 7, maybe 6 winners. That's normal if you're low on traffic. But if you only have 6 or 7 winners, that means you only have impact every 7 or 8 weeks. So if this is a high energy game, and you want to continuously optimize what you're doing, but only getting results once every 7 or 8 weeks, it doesn't make sense. Then this stuff will happen. So even if you're lower on conversions and only can run like 10 A/B tests a year, only having 2 or 3 winners, well, if you only spread a word about a winning variation every 3 months in your company or at your clients, well, the budget will be gone pretty soon. Not working. So if you're testing those 20 tests, what should you test? Well, big impact. Less tests, more time. It's a Dutch website, apologize for that. They're selling bets online. What we tested over here was, okay, their delivery time is 4 weeks. Well, that's a pretty long time. You can go to IKEA, buy the beds, drive home, and have it. So 4 weeks is pretty long. We came up with, could we test with just a 1 or 2 day delivery? Oh, that's a big problem for distribution. Then we have to get all the beds up front, store them, and then when someone buys them, because they're directly shipped from China, if they're ordered. But we managed. We got some inventory there, tested with 2 days, and of course, that's making a big impact on conversions. And then you can do the calculations. Okay, it's costing me more money to keep the stuff in stock, but I'm making more money online. What's the business case? So big impact testing. Same here, this is hotel specials, they're throughout Europe. This is the Dutch website. If you want to book a hotel room, you pay some amount and you pay some service fee. This service fee is really a pain in the ass for lots of visitors on the website, because they thought the price was 90 euros, and now it is at 10, and you have to pay 100 euros. Should we include it? Just rank the 100 euro price, but then maybe get less people who are comparing, but then we have a lesser drop-off in the funnel. Let's test it. This is big impact testing. And we also do big design changes. Like this is a deal website. Every hotel, this room is like 60 euros. Well, so price is not that important. It's all 60 euros. And if you're on a deal website, you want to scan through it. It must be easy. Really easy thinking. So we created a list. More emphasis on the rates, less emphasis on the price. Big design change. It can work, it cannot work. If it's working, you're not sure if it is because of the scrolling or it's changing something here, but at least it can make a big impact. And you will be able to recognize if it's a winning combination or not. So you're lucky, you're growing, passing 1,500, 6,000 conversions a month. Now it's becoming more exciting. Now you can do stuff like this, like button copy, learn more or buy it now, or orange color or blue color combination, multivariate testing. Don't do that, please. This is very, 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 very wrong. The thing you want to do, if you have that traffic, is to test for customer buying reasons. You want to find the reasons behind the customer journey. Why are those visitors here? If you have a team to run lots of tests, because you're scaling up to like 100 tests a year, you have an analyst, UX designer, a visual designer, you need a front-end developer, you need a psychologist who is good in copywriting, and you need a team lead. And what that team has to do is just ask themselves, why are these users here? And how can we help these users' brains, because we're selling stuff to brains, not real people, to fulfill their needs? And that's what I like about testing. It's the combination of data and psychology. And from the same e-consultancy research, why are you not testing more? Well, number one reason, lack of resources. So if you're already small on resources and you're testing, don't start testing button colors. Maybe you can win some money with it. It's about contrast. Maybe you can win some money with changing the button copy, but that can be tested with usability testing too. If you're spending time and resources on A/B testing, well, you should learn something from it. Learn from user behavior and see how you can use those insights to improve what you're doing. There are many models out there. Build, measure, learn is one of them. This is an A/B test model, 7 steps, fact and act. This is the conversion study phase. I have to find where I can improve my conversions, where's the big hole in my websites, analytics-driven, data-driven, or just ask customer service. Then I have to really analyze that page to know about the current user behavior. Then I'll hypothesize something, create a variation, I'll test it, analyze results, come up with behavioral conclusions, and tell everyone in the company. And it just goes on and goes on and goes on. I won't go through the find phase, because I think Marie this morning already explained a lot what you can do if you are on a low-traffic website. And that's exactly the same with an A/B testing part. The conversion study up front, there are many resources which you can use to hypothesize what can be changed. If you're low on traffic, you cannot test it. You just implement it and take the risk. If you're high on traffic, you can use it to come up with, well, where should I optimize my website? And then thorough analyzing, going to the analytics account, look at all detailed data, use event tracking, use all these nitty-gritty details that Simon explained to you what you can do on your website. But also, please do use heat maps. I think the bad thing about web analytics is that it's not visual. And heat maps, this is like scrolling distance and where the mouse is moving and click maps, etc. That makes it really visual, which is a really good thing. So immediately we'll see, well, this is interesting. Lots of interaction beneath the fold. Maybe we should change this above the fold. I also love screen recordings. Just play some session replays and just see what your users do. That can be really funny. But what you have to do at this part, analyzing, because you knew already that you had to optimize this booking funnel, hotel chain booking funnel website. This is the page where stuff is happening, where the big dropout is. But then you want to find out, where should I place my message? Where should I optimize? Like, we tried optimizing, like spreading messages here. This is all USPs in Dutch, sorry. USP here, USP here, USP here, was not working. And then we learned we had to place those messages really close to the price, because many people are comparing price. So if they only look here, well, they're really blind for what's going on here. So you have to put this USP message really close to the price. So find, analyze, where should I test, go into details, find the exact hotspots, and then you hypothesize. And that's all about psychology. Thinking fast and slow. Who has read the book of Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow? Very good. Not so many. He's the only psychologist that ever won a Nobel Prize for economics. He's a really smart guy, a really fun book to read. Thinking Fast and Slow. Every psychologist agrees on the fact that we have 2 systems in our brain. They all take different names for it. But this is Daniel Kahneman. You have this fast brain who's really old, been there ever. This is your emotion, taking fast decisions. And this is what we call ratio. If you are looking for a mortgage, first you just scan around, that's your fast brain, being lazy, clicking, clicking, clicking. And at some point you will start doing calculations, then you need ratio. You have to think about this. Okay, this calculating how much money I'm going to spend in the future. This brain cannot think of the future. This part can. So this one is always there, this one is not. And to show you about those 2 systems, I'm going to show you a picture real quickly. So please pay attention, and then you can tell me what the picture is about. Here it comes. Angry man. This was like a couple of milliseconds. And you already recognized an angry man. That's your system 1. Your fully automated part of your brain is really trained in recognizing faces and expression. That's nature, because this man can be angry at me. Is he going to fight me? That's nature. So we really recognize in a split second what's going on here. And if you take the other system, system 2, your ratio, this is always a fun test. Don't read the words, read the colors. Like green, red, blue, yellow. That's really hard. Try it. Because your fully automated system 1 is used to reading. We automated reading. So we go yellow, blue, orange, black, red, green. That's really easy. But if you have to name the colors, like green, then you have to really start thinking. That's your system 2. There you see the 2 systems. On websites, most users only use system 1. And system 1 is the automated system. I created this drawing myself, 2 tables, and it seems this one is longer than this one, which is not true. Look at this. It's the same one. It's just your system 1 saying, oh, because there are things here, so it's three-dimensional, and this one is so it's different shapes. It's not true. Same with this one. It looks like this tower of Pisa is bending more to the right. Can you see this? If I do this, you see it's exactly the same picture. That's your system 1. And I always like this one. This seems like a pretty normal face. But if I turn it around, it's really ugly. That's system 1. System 2, your ratio, needs lots of energy. So every time your system 1 thinks, oh, I know this one. It's a face, eyes, mouth, I get this. Don't need system 2. So users are using system 1. And you can read a lot of stuff. A fellow of mine from Online Dialogue was here last year on stage, Bart Schutz. He invented the wheel of persuasion, are all persuasion techniques for system 1 and system 2. I will not go in depth. I will only tell you, your users look at your website with system 1, automated behavior. If you are optimizing your website, you will look at your website with system 2, because you will start thinking, what should I change on this website? That's not what users do. And that's why testing, experimenting, split runs are so important. You just have to ask your user and look at the data. And what can be done? You can create all sorts of A/B tests. Like this is a really difficult page for T-Mobile, phone subscription. You need megabytes, you need messages, minutes of calling, and lots of information in there. If you do it like this, this wakes up system 2. And you don't want to wake up system 2. You only want to wake up system 2 when you're asking for money. So you can do a test like this and just create 3 pull-downs. And if you click on one of the pull-downs, it opens and you can pick one of those. So this is more easy to get. That's optimizing for system 1. There's always the real big impact with psychology optimizing. Big change. After many tests, this used to be the homepage for hotel specialists in Belgium. It ended up being this one. But if you look at the differences, like this was pretty hard. Lots of information. Please don't ask me about all the navigation stuff up there. Please look here. This is also really wrong. Lots of information. And we just emphasized in the end the pictures, important at that time in the customer journey. Reviews, very important. Price, and the location. And that was it. Make it more easy. This one, this is Hostel World, the booking.com for hostels. They're in Dublin. And they had these reviews on the hostel listing, 80%, 79%, 74%. I don't get it. We're not used to a ranking system like this for hotels. We're used to like 9.5, 8.3, 7.9. Superb, very good, good. Makes it more easy to scan and pick your own hostel. This one, this is the feedback from the call center of Conrad from Germany, e-commerce website. Guy calling on the phone, entered search query, couldn't find the one he was looking for, and then the call center employee said, well, you can use the filters. And then the guy on the phone was saying, which filters? They just could not see it. So, very easy trick. Use an arrow, light it up, and people see it. And this is drawing attention, but not waking up system 2. So it's system 1 based. And the final one from test examples, which you can run. This is all being run in normal A/B test software. So no redesigns or content management system use. This is Aftonbladet, big newspaper from Sweden. This is the video page, and the KPI was to improve the number of videos watched in a row. So video watching is real system one behavior, especially late in the day. People will just start clicking and watch some new stuff going on, some videos like YouTube, and click another one, another one, another one. So you have to make it more easy to click to the next video. The solution was simple. The related videos were up here, below. So we just lifted them up. Title up here, not important over there, so it's more easy to click related videos. And we invented the next button and the previous button, which just goes to the next video in the related videos. This was a fun test because it gave lots of insights on user behavior. We weren't able to uplift the KPI. We had like a 26% more clicks to videos, almost only because of this little button here. But every video starts with a pre-roll ad. And what users did, they used this button to skip the ad. So pre-roll starts, next. New video, pre-roll starts, next. So we improved page views, we did improve the number of videos being shown. And of course, the second test was only show this button after the pre-roll ad is done. So, hypothesize based on psychology, system 1, system 2 are the most two important parts, and then you start testing. And I said, you can test with any A/B test tool. The problem is, with all those A/B test tools, this is just optimized because they're the market leader. You have VWO, Adobe Test and Target. We run 75% of our tests through Google Tag Manager, which is also just injecting code on your website, because they have this promise of being drag and drop tools. But if you're just changing a headline, well, you'll be fine. Changing a picture and test that, you'll be fine. But if you want to learn about user behavior and have to create the variations which they just showed to you, then you have to start writing front-end code. So you need front-end development. You need lots of developers to create those test variations. And if it's only about test code, you can use Google Tag Manager to inject the code in your website and just use Google Analytics or some other analytics tool to measure the results. So test, run, analyze. Always look at the details. It's not only about the conversion. If you don't have a significant result, you maybe have lots of learnings on user behavior. So go in depth. This is like the path visualization of Google Analytics. I always compare those two. So even if it's not a winner, I compare the change in behavior. That's really important when you want to learn about behavioral insights. Fact and act. Find, analyze, create, test, analyze, but then conclude and tell. If you start running more tests, like if you scale up to 100 tests a year, you will bump into the problem we had once. Like, okay, all results are stored in this PowerPoint. Every test is a separate PowerPoint, and they're somewhere on Dropbox. And yes, we did that test last year on the landing page. Can anyone remember what the test name was? What were the learnings? And you have to go looking through all your documents, and it takes lots of time. So store your learnings. There are many tools out there. Growthhackers.com just released their new canvas, which you can use. We only have an internal tool, which is not out there, so you cannot use it. Sorry for that, but please store them in a database and make your insights findable. Because what you want to do, you want to push your behavioral insights to the company. The learnings you will get from playing with user behavior, testing on user behavior, learning from user behavior, those are really awesome insights. So do not only celebrate your winners, also celebrate your losers. If you have a test that has a negative impact of 15% on sales, celebrate it. They took the risk. If you want to have a testing culture, you should embrace failure. And not only winning, because then people will get scared. Oh, I'm not sure if this variation is going to win, so let's not test it. You want to test it because you want to learn from the user behavior. That's the main thing. And if you have all these learnings, push it to your company. This is a very old slide already used for, I think, 14 years ago. So created with a very old version of PowerPoint. It's about data. We have data. Through testing, we have behavioral insights, but someone has to take action on it. Of course, a winner will be implemented. But all those behavioral learnings, combine them, use the personas for marketing, plot them on the customer journey, make sense out of your insights, and help everyone else in every other department with what you learned, so they can improve what they do too. Back to the role model. We're moving up. Well, we're passing by the 10,000 conversions per month. Woohoo! Now, with 10,000 conversions per month, you can run 4 tests a week. That's 200 tests per year. That's quite a large number, especially if you're low on resources. And so the problem companies bump into when they have 10,000 conversions per month is the test capacity is bigger than the number of tests being run. Test capacity is the maximum number of experiments per year that your site or app or whatever you're testing on can handle. So if the test capacity is 200 tests and you only run 100, you will have regret. And regret is defined as the amount of money you are losing per year by not using your full test capacity. Because you only run 100 and you could have run 200. So you're missing out on insights and conversion uplifts. So what most companies do, because the resources is always an issue, they will go into automation. So optimization to automation. And the big question with automation is what we call the multi-arm bandit problem. These are Las Vegas slot machines. There's a trade-off between exploitation and exploration. With behavioral-focused A/B testing, you want to learn. That's exploration. If you're in Vegas, you just want to make a hell of money. You don't want to learn which one is better. You're like, okay, first I put my dollar in this machine, oh, nothing's happening. Then I put the dollar in this one. If you have $100 to spend and you put 50 in this one and 50 in this one, that's an A/B test. And at the end, you probably will know which one was performing better. Like this one was paying 100, this one 0. So if I knew this up front, I should have spent all my money in this one. So exploitation is about making money. Is this one $1, nothing's happening, $1 jackpot? Nothing, jackpot, nothing. At what point in time are you going to shift more money to this machine? And that's about automation. If you have this website, you already know that this is the page where you can make the impact. This is the location. There are a couple of USPs, and people react differently based on the user journey. Are they comparing price? Have they booked before? Different user segments. So if you know this, and you cannot learn anything anymore from behavioral perspective, you will automate it. You will be like Booking.com. Everyone knows this website. With all these messages over here, all these persuasive messages, they're not random. And of course, this is not the perfect website, because you're always in an experiment. So there will be wrong elements in there. But they really target all this messaging fully automated. So if this one is working, it will be shown way more than some other message. That's automation. And if you have that kind of traffic, and you have regret because you're not using your full test capacity, you're moving into algorithm testing. And start automating. And it doesn't mean from the role model that if you pass this point that you will stop optimizing. It's more like this. Optimizing is green. You will continue optimizing, but you will start automating more. And even what like Amazon does, if it declines the growth, they will stop A/B testing and only automate stuff. Because they will use all the resources on testing for a new product that's passing this point. Optimization, automation. Final part, final 2 minutes. Bear with me. Rethink. What I learned in running A/B tests for the last 15 years is that it's the ultimate resource of user knowledge. Jeff Bezos was really right back in 2004. It's not only about making more money. If you run experiments and you try to solve the puzzle, how it can be improved, that little page or the user flow, you will become more inventive. All those user insights and user learnings will help you to improve what you're doing throughout the company. It brings user knowledge. The big company like T-Mobile in the Netherlands is now setting up a knowledge center. It used to be market research and customer intelligence. They're now bringing in the CRO team to add value to the knowledge center because they really know about user behavior. They store their learnings, and they will make sure if they end up at this part where they have to rethink their business and start with something new, that they are really good in the discovery phase. Because if you start as a first-time entrepreneur, you will have some failures. Tried, did not work. Tried, did not work. If you learned a lot from stuff that worked, you will be really good in creating new products that will immediately work. So that's the long-term value of user behavior A/B testing. Well, I think that's hard. So not A/B testing, learning about user behavior. And they always ask me after my talk, are we ever done testing? Should we stop testing now because we improved the website so much? We think it can be improved anymore? No. Testing never stops. You want to minimize regret, you want to keep on testing. If you don't use a test capacity, you want to test as much as you can. Like Amazon, like Zalando. They just go on. They never stop testing. Because experimenting is a way of working in those companies. It's really part of their company DNA. So if you stop testing, you kill your company. And that was the message I want to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a question from Twitter, and it is, how many visits to page do I need to get good results with A/B testing?
How many visits do I have to get per page? Well, it's the rule of thumb with the 1,000 conversions. That's calculated based on a 2% conversion rate. So if I'm really fast at maths, then I think it's like 50,000 visits. Mm-hmm. And then you can run a bit. But it depends. If you have a website with like 20% conversion, you need less traffic. If you have a 0.3 conversion rate, you need more traffic. It's statistics. You need a sample size and a conversion. So it depends. But you use the calculator, the A/B test guide calculator. Just type in your own numbers and you will find out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Do we have some questions from audience? Yeah? No? Okay, then thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Give me 5. Good job.